Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, June 21st, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. We got the June 2024 spam update. We got some Google search volatility on Father's Day weekend. We got some big indexing bugs that Google confirmed, tracking AI overviews and FAQs around that, Google Maps ranking exploit that is really out there now, and a lot of stuff around Google Ads, Applebot, and so much more. So definitely stay tuned. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Wix. Wix Studio lets digital marketing agencies get all the benefits Wix has to offer, from best-in-class SEO capabilities to 99% uptime, with the added value of extensive client and team management systems baked right into the platform. So check them out at Wix Studio. Thank you so much, Wix, for sponsoring. Deeply appreciate it. All right, first up, we got the Google June 2024 spam update. It was released around 11:15 a.m. Eastern yesterday on Thursday, June 20th. It's a spam update only. It doesn't affect links. This is not a link spam update. I know people didn't believe me when I said that, but Google confirmed it in a nice way this time. Google also confirmed that it wasn't related to the site reputation abuse policy, which is right now manual. It's not algorithmic, and this update was not to make it algorithmic. So there's some confusion around that, and Google responded on that as well, which I'm sure a lot of you saw. Again, this targets spam. I'm not exactly sure what type of spam, but not link spam, not the site reputation abuse spam. It also is going to take about a week to roll out. I haven't really seen specific volatility around this specific update yet. Again, it'll take about a week to roll out, and usually spam updates, you don't see a massive update around that in terms of volatility. So keep that in mind. This is not a core update. This is a spam update. It should affect only spammers. So if you're not a spammer, you should be fine. That being said, there's other search ranking volatility that happened over the last weekend, Father's Day weekend, in the US, other states, other countries, where we saw a lot of chatter over the weekend. The tools themselves didn't see that much impacted. The SEMrush and other tools, the basic tools and the more common tools, were kind of calm, but AccuRanker and Alguru were pretty much ranking off the top, but they still are going crazy as of right now. So I'm not sure if it's a tool issue, but there definitely was a lot of chatter over the weekend. Maybe it was just a slow weekend, but we will see. On Google also last night around, I reported around 6:30-ish p.m. Eastern, there was a pretty big Google indexing issue where Google was not indexing new content across many, many websites, including Wall Street Journal, New York Times, CNBC, Fox News, you name it, CNN. They were not being indexed. I only saw 0 articles, 1 article, 2 articles, some saw 10 articles, but Google took a while to confirm the issue. I reached out to them right after I posted a story around 7 p.m. They didn't give me an official update until around 1 a.m. in the morning, and Google did confirm there was an indexing issue. They said it was a short-lived issue. I think short-lived probably was at least 3, 4, 5 hours. It was fixed by the morning, but there may be delays in terms of Google indexing content that wasn't indexed before, because Google has to crawl that content and index it. That being said, if you notice any traffic issues over the past, from let's say yesterday around 4 p.m. through, 1 a.m. In the morning, that may be related to the indexing issues where Google is not indexing new content that you may have been producing. Google has fixed the issue. I don't know if it was related to the spam update or not, but it does seem an interesting coincidence. Google spoke more about the search images going missing, the image thumbnails going missing in the search results. We've been covering this story for about a year now. Google initially said they fixed some bugs. This was years ago, months and months ago. Then the last update, they closed down the thread, implying that it was quality issues. Now John Mueller outright said these are not most of these cases are not technical issues, but they are quality issues with your website. Meaning, if you notice your images are no longer showing up as thumbnails in the search results in some cases, and it's not a technical issue, you checked that the pages are being indexed fine with the URL inspection tool and the images are fine, that means that it's probably a quality issue with your website, and that's why Google's not showing it. So it's sad to hear. He said, I'm sorry to bring that news to you. He said, but it is not a technical issue with your website or with Google search. It's more of a quality issue with your website. Glenn Gabe did a rare post on Search Engine Roundtable talking about his adventure in tracking AI overviews and how maddening it is. Basically, it's impossible to track. It's literally impossible. He has this great post going through the problems with trying to track AI overviews in Google Search Console. The AI overviews are there, they're not there. sometimes tracking is almost impossible. So I definitely recommend you read that because it doesn't look like we're getting tracking anytime soon for those AI overviews. And right now they're pretty much shown for a very limited number of queries. I assume that will expand over time, but we will see. Google also posted an FAQs around AI overviews. The FAQs is kind of funny, but it goes through a bunch of frequently asked questions according to the forums that people are posting in the forums. And one of the ones that stood out to me is, why can't I disable AI overviews? And Google gave a non-answer to that. They basically said they tested it, they think it's great for searchers, and we're going to give it to searchers. And because of that, you're not going to be able to disable those AI overviews. Super funny to see that. Of course, people want to disable it. Of course, you could hit a web-only filter, which is Google said. The web-only filter doesn't just disable AI overviews, it disables videos, images, everything else in terms of Google Maps, all that type, local results. But if you just want to disable AI overviews, you can't do that unless you use some type of third-party extension. There's a report on Reddit showing up less often in the Google search results and in the discussion and forums tab. Not significantly less often. Morty Oberstein pulled some data from SEMrush, and it showed that it's trending down slightly, with Reddit showing less month to month. Very, very, like half a percentage point or so. Core also, but other forums are showing a little bit more. I think that trend will continue. We'll see, but we'll see. There was some good data from SEMrush from Morty, who works at Wix. Gary from Google said there are two cases where a spike in crawling is really not a good thing for your website. The first case is when Google bot crawls calendar pages or infinite crawling pages, where the calendar goes on and on and on forever. There's no end to the calendar pages, and next month, next month, next month. And that's not a good thing for your server. You probably want to block those types of infinite pages. Two is when your site has been hacked and people are just posting crazy amounts of content in your website, trying to rank content on your website or generate links from your website to their website. So those are two cases where you don't like crawling jumps on your website. So keep that in mind. And if you see that, try to debug those issues. Google has kind of warned people not to use JavaScript if they can when it comes to structured data. There was a discrepancy caught by Jarno Van Drell, who noticed how the Merchant Center documentation versus the normal documentation says any added markup must be presented in the HTML return for the web server and can't be generated after a page has been loaded using JavaScript. Now, that's not true per se. It can, and Ryan Levering from Google said, technically Google can do it, but there are cases where Google will get it wrong because the JavaScript takes too long to load or whatever it might be, and then Google will not pick up on that markup. So it's best if you actually have it rendered before the JavaScript, but he understands there are cases, so the Google's going to update that documentation. Now, again, Google can do it. There are cases where Google gets it wrong because the JavaScript takes too long to load or it was unexecuted right or whatever it might be. So for your best bet is not to use JavaScript for structured data. This is something Google's been saying for a long time, but that documentation needs to be a little bit clarified, and Google will clarify that. There's been this weird theory that the pound signs, the hashtags reported in Google Search Console's performance reports, which are basically anchor downs for many websites, are some type of relation to canonicalization. Now, it's not. John Mueller, and I'll quote what John Mueller said. He basically said, in case you're seeing URLs with pound signs in them in Google Search Console, these are from on-page site links, and they are not related to canonicalization. There's a weird theory around people saying there's a canonical bug with Google Search, and this proves it. Now, John Mueller is saying, no, it doesn't. So keep that in mind. Goes into story more. I talked about it on its new video a couple days ago. So if you want to see more about that, or just read the story and you'll see more. Google has updated its hreflang documentation while I was offline last week to just clarify stuff in that documentation, some weird quirks. So just keep in mind, if you are doing hreflang, there are some slight updates to the documentation. There's no update to actual how hreflang works. It's just an update to the documentation. Microsoft explained why Bing Webmaster tools click-through rate can sometimes show over 100%. Now, Google's Search Console never shows over 100% click-through rates ever, but Bing Webmaster tools can show 200% click-through rates, 300% click-through rates. And the reason is because if somebody goes to your site in a new tab and clicks on your result 1, 2, or 3 times, 1 is 100%, 2 is 200%, 3 is 300%, etc. So if you get 3 clicks, that could show a click-through rate of 300%. Google kind of discounts those and doesn't count them, so Google doesn't go over 100%. But Bing Webmaster tools may, according to Fabrice Cannell from Microsoft. Google is testing showing 6 people also ask results in the search results, up from 4. This was spotted by Brody Clark. Nice find there. Here's a screenshot of that. John Shihada noticed that in his news dash data that Wikipedia is the most often cited source in the people also ask results, which is pretty interesting. That counts for about 16% of people also ask show Wikipedia. The one below that is nasa.gov, which is 2%. So Wikipedia is dominating those people also ask results. There's this unfortunate Google Maps pin bug where anybody can actually go ahead and take a business listed in Google Maps, edit that business, and then drag the map pin to any location they want. So you have spammers going in there for months now, several months now, taking their competitors and just dragging them somewhere off into Antarctica or wherever it might be. Absolutely infuriating that's still going on. I reported about it several months ago. Joe Hawkins has been reporting. A lot of people have been telling Google about this for several months. I haven't really, people were trying to keep it quiet. I've been trying to keep it quiet, but now that it's cat's out of the bag, I had to report about it. And it's a big issue. This could cause major issues. What happens is people will move you, your rankings will drop. You have no idea because Google's not even notifying you that your map was changed. And then if you wanted to put your map back, sometimes Google will actually completely suspend your business, which is actually insane. Darren Shaw posted about this. He actually created a tool to actually let you know when the map pin is changed. So if you do want to subscribe to that, I think he's charging $1 per month. It might be recommended because Google has not fixed this issue. I do hope they fix it ASAP because it's really out there right now. Google local panels have now added a menu button to the local panel in the Google search results. This was spotted by Marcin Karowski. So now you can actually see the menu button there, which is supposed to be a really big deal for restaurants. So definitely keep that in mind. Google Maps also has updated its fake engagement policy with more details. It just gives you more details. There's no real fundamental change to that. So if you want to reread it, you could definitely do that. Google is bringing local service ads to the Google Maps, specifically first on iOS app, the mobile app for iPhone, Apple. And that's being rolled out. Google said there's no changes you need to make. Google will just show your local service ads there and you use the same data for that. But you can't opt out of it. If you want to opt out of showing your local service ads on Google Maps, you will need to just turn off local service ads completely, which is not giving you a way to opt out, which is kind of infuriating. Google Ads also on the ad side is turning off the ability for some advertisers to pay via credit card. Google's not saying who specifically, it's just sending out emails to a bunch of advertisers. There's no specific threshold according to the Google Ads liaison. It's not like if you send a certain amount of money or less, it's just being sent out to some advertisers without rhyme or reason according to Google. I'm sure there is rhyme or reason. So those who are earning crazy credit card points, a lot of them are no longer going to earn those credit card points. I first spotted this via a bunch of people, including Jeremy Brandt and Menachem Ami and some bunch of people. So it's pretty infuriating for a lot of advertisers because they've been getting credit card points for 20 years or so, and now it's out the window. Google AdSense has added a new feature called AdSense and privacy messaging for users, where for certain US states, including California, Colorado, Connecticut, Virginia, and Utah, there's certain privacy laws that they have to comply to to the message saying, we do not sell your data or share your links. So these messages now pop up powered by Google AdSense. If you notice that, you are not alone because that's a new feature that has rolled out with Google. Finally, Apple has updated its Applebot documentation. I spotted this via Glenn Gabe and added a significant amount of information to it the day after the WWC. A lot of this is around Google, Applebot-Extended, which is their AI features, but a lot of other documentation here that you might want to take a look at if you're looking at Applebot on your servers. There's a lot of really detailed Applebot documentation that may signal the future of Applebot and Apple search, so we will see. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over the Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com. Sorry for talking so fast. It's already almost 14 minutes in the video, which I know I want to keep it to about 10. In any event, have a great, safe weekend. Thanks again to Wix for sponsoring. Deeply appreciate it. Bye-bye.